Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to give you a comprehensive guide to making your own vanilla extract. Alright, if you're new here, hello, I'm Claire. Welcome, come on in, make yourselves comfortable. I love to cook and I love to bake, and that means I use a whole lot of vanilla extract. It is like the olive oil of the baking world, if you will. If you like cooking content like this, be sure to hit subscribe down below. I'd love to have you. And yeah, I mentioned in a video earlier that I like to make my own vanilla extract. I asked if you guys would like to see how I do it, and y'all said yes. So when I first started making my own vanilla, I turned to YouTube and the internet to find out how, and there are plenty of videos out there where they slice open a vanilla bean, put it in a jar, throw some alcohol over it, and call it good. But I wanted to know more. So in this video, oh yes, we will be doing that, but we're going to talk about the difference between grade A and grade B vanilla beans. We're also going to talk about the different regions of the world where vanilla beans come from and the difference between those types of beans. We're also going to discuss the ratio between bean and liquid, which is very important. And we are also going to talk about the different types of liquid, the alcohol that you put on top, and how that will affect your vanilla. I also want to say that I am not a classically trained chef. I'm not trained at all, actually. I'm just a regular person who likes to cook and who really gets down on some massive research if it's something that I'm really interested in. The first thing we're going to talk about are the vanilla beans. And the first thing you usually come across when trying to select what bean to use is grade A versus grade B. There are two grades of beans. So basically, a grade A bean is going to be fresher, plumper, heavier, and the moisture content is going to be a great deal higher than a grade B bean. Grade A beans are usually used for cooking, so where you're actually cutting it open, scraping that inside out to put in your creme brulee, or you're making some fancy dessert. This is usually what those are for. Grade B beans are usually extract beans. That's usually what those are for. You can use either to make vanilla, and I'll tell you the difference between using the two because I have done it with both. For grade A beans, the moisture content is around 30%, and for grade B, you're looking more at 25 or below. However, when you're making vanilla extract, it goes by the weight. You need a certain amount of beans, a certain weight of beans per amount of alcohol that you use. And the simple answer is that grade A beans weigh more than grade B. So you're gonna need a lot more grade B beans than you would grade A. So either work, but depending on the price, sometimes it's a better deal to go with one versus the other. Another difference between grade A and grade B is that since grade A is a lot fresher and more moist, your vanilla extract is going to be ready a lot sooner. I like to do mine 6 months to a year before I start using it. However, with the grade A, you'll notice that your alcohol starts getting dark much faster. So if this is something you want in a couple months, I would go for grade A. But honestly, for me, when it comes down to it, it has to do with what can I get that has a great deal, one that has high reviews on Amazon, things like that. I've made it with grade A, I've made it with grade B. They're both quite similar in the end. For me, it's about saving money, so I usually go with whatever I can get the best deal on by weight. I order my beans by weight. Today I have opted for some grade B beans. These I ordered from Amazon. I like getting them from Amazon because they just come right to your house. I don't have to hunt them down. I can read lots of reviews and see, kind of, if the beans were good, if they were moldy or whatever. I do just read all the reviews and pick whichever is a good deal because the prices fluctuate all the time. So I've tried many, different types of beans. Today I went for the grade B. It was the best deal. You can also find these locally at like market type places or like a bulk food store. Often will have them like in a little like airtight package. So if you can find them locally, that is great. However, I just went to Amazon and there's no shame in that. Now we're going to talk about the regions of beans, because if you look on Amazon or most places, there's really two main types of beans, and that is Madagascar and Tahitian. Those are the big ones. However, vanilla beans are grown all over the world, and I actually found this great graphic from a website called vanillapura.com. I, can't personally attest that this is exactly how it works, but this great graphic shows you kind of where regionally each of the beans sort of sits. So the Madagascar bean scores high in the light and buttery, creamy section, and also sweet and sugary. So if that sounds good to you, Madagascar beans are a good choice. The Tahitian beans are known to be bold and fruity and also very sweet. There are lots of other regions you can get these beans from, including Tonga, Uganda, Mexico, Ecuador, Hawaii. There are lots of different types of beans, but definitely check out that graphic if you are presented with like a lot of bean options. I usually go for a Madagascar, however, I decided to switch it up today and I picked some Tahitian ones because normally like anything that says buttery, like that's my jam. However, I thought bold and fruity, let's give that a go. So today I'm doing Tahitian. All right, now we're gonna talk about containers because you're gonna need something to put your vanilla in. I prefer glass because I do. You can do jars, there's lots of different containers and different sizes, but you'll want to note how many ounces your jar is because that makes a huge difference to how many vanilla beans you need to put in there. So the FDA actually has a number that you have to follow, like companies have to use this ratio if they want to call their product real pure vanilla extract. And that number is 13.35 ounces per gallon of liquid. Now 13 ounces of vanilla would be so expensive. So we're not making a gallon of vanilla here. However, these little bottles, I bought these on Amazon, and these are 16 ounces a piece or 1/8 of a gallon. So you're just gonna need to find out the percentage of 1 gallon your receptacle is, if you're using a pint or a quart or like whatever you got. Make sure whatever vessel you're using, if it's not written on it or if you're ordering something specific, if you don't know the like actual amount of ounces it holds, fill it with water and measure it aside because that is really important if you want to get great tasting vanilla. So for my 16 ounce bottle, using that ratio, we are going to need 1.67 ounces of vanilla beans, which also means you're going to need a scale. And you can eyeball it. Some recipes will say put 3 vanilla beans in and there you go. And like, yes, technically that will work, but if you want the best vanilla, you gotta measure it correctly. All right, so here are my vanilla beans. They smell so good, but definitely like a lot richer than when you just smell vanilla. And now I'm going to weigh out 1 2/3 ounces. So for these, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 beans. Now, if we were using grade A, we might need maybe half of that amount, but this is gonna work perfect for us. All right, now we're gonna do what you see in most videos. We're gonna take these and we're gonna slice them open. So you're gonna need a sharp knife and you're just gonna open them up vertically. And if you open them up, you can see the vanilla inside, the little like speckles. And that is what we want. So you're just gonna slice them and stick them in your jar. All right, so when it comes to the liquid that we're going to fill our beans in, there are basically 3 choices that you have. We have vodka, we have bourbon. It has to be bourbon, not whiskey, bourbon. And we have white rum. Those are your 3 choices. And everyone kind of has their own preference, and if you're looking this up online and you're seeing, certain recipes, some people swear by one thing, but I'm going to give you information on each one so you can make the best choice for you, for like what you're kind of going for. Vodka is gonna give you the least amount of flavor. It's not gonna add any flavor to your vanilla. Basically, if what you're looking for is the purest vanilla flavor, vodka is like a blank slate. That is what I have always used. That's my personal preference. That's what we're using today. But personally, I just find that I really just want the flavor of those beans. I'm not trying to get all complicated with it. And that's why I choose vodka. It's a super safe choice. Good. The second choice is bourbon. And this is a really popular choice because Your vanilla will be very tasty, and it will have those hints of smokiness that bourbon has. Bourbon is a little bit sweet, it's got those smoky elements, and that will infuse right into your vanilla. So if you are looking for something like that, less of a blank slate like vodka and a little bit more of an external sort of flavor, I can imagine it would be very good in baked goods. But yeah, so if you're into the smokiness, try a bourbon. And your third choice is white rum, and the reason that people like to do white rum is because it's very sweet. Rum is made from sugarcane, and that is going to be your sweetest choice. So if you're in this to make the sweetest of baked goods, and you really want that vanilla to have super sweet notes, you should definitely go with a white rum. And when it comes to kind of top shelf versus bottom shelf, a lot of people will tell you to get the best of the best, the most distilled, the most whatever, but I'm not gonna spend like $50 on a bottle of vodka. So I go with a mid-level. I've used Smirnoff every time I've made vanilla, and it works amazing. I know there's like some variation within the mid shelf that you could, you know, go on, but maybe just use your preference. I don't know, if you're a person that drinks vodka, pick the one you normally drink, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really a drinker, but this is what I've always used. Mid-tier, good enough for me. And now we're just gonna put the 16 ounces into our bottle. I like these bottles because they're rubber, so we get a really solid seal on there. And there you go. There is your vanilla. But we're not done yet. So I just wanted to throw out there that this is the perfect time to make vanilla to give as gifts. Like seriously, there is nothing better than a homemade bottle of vanilla. Like people are really impressed by that, and that's actually what I'm doing today. You'll notice I got 4 ounces of beans. I have a ton of extra beans. I'm actually gonna make another bottle, and right now it's about to be summer, so by Christmas time, this vanilla will be ready to go, and it just makes a really lovely gift. So if you're thinking about it and you're thinking, oh, that's so far away, now is the perfect time to make your vanilla. Just don't forget to write the date on it somewhere so that you don't forget. And the last thing we're gonna talk about is how to top off your previously made vanilla. This I made February 10th of last year, and this is how much I've used in that amount of time. And I'm gonna show you how to top this off so that you basically have a never-ending supply of vanilla and you don't actually have to make new ones all the time. So here I've got a separate jar, and I'm going to actually just take a little bit of this out and put it in here for any baking that I'm gonna do in the next like maybe month or so. That's probably a lot, but you know, whatever. And that's because this I'm going to dilute with a lot more vodka, and so it won't be as strong for just a little while. So I'm gonna set this aside for baking. Now I'm gonna take a couple of my beans and I'm going to cut them open. And honestly, if you have like some tweezers or something, it's helpful if you've got a bottle like this. And I'm actually gonna go in here and I'm gonna pull some of these old ones out. So there's an old one. All right, so I've taken a few beans out, and now I'm just going to put the new ones in. And this will be interesting because the ones that I took out are actually Madagascar vanilla, and the ones I'm putting in are Tahitian. So this should be especially delicious in the future. And now I'm just gonna refill it. And now I'm just going to let that sit for a couple of months until it gets nice and dark, like the one we took out. But you'll see, it's pretty good. If this is all you had to use, it would still work okay for you. And yeah, never-ending supply of vanilla. All right, you guys, I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Happy vanilla making. I hope this has inspired you to give this a try, because seriously, once you start baking with your own vanilla, you will never go back. It's the best. Leave me a comment down below if you make your own vanilla, if you do anything different than I do. I would love to hear your method. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.